Hey guys, I am going to break down some things. One group I'm in that I'm admin to, there's a new guy who they don't even have a team name, and kind of gave me this idea. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go through and explain to people what equipment we use in the field and why, what it's used for, how it's used to measure activity. And first we have the trusty Ovilus. Now this box has 2,700 words and it's designed that the spirit can manipulate and speak to be able to have words. Now the older models will sound like a robot. The newer models you can pretty much hear like what we hear, and they have a display to tell you what word is being said. Then we have the ghost box, or also known as spirit box or Frank's box. Simply, it's an AM/FM radio. It scans frequency, and it's believed that spirits can manipulate this to bring out words. Now, our team has had intelligent responses with this. The newest is an SB11. It's AM/FM that scan at the same time. You have your KII meter. This meter is an electromagnetic field meter, or known as EMF. It is believed that spirits can use the EMF fields to manifest, to interact, but it's also a good tool to test to see if the client's home has a high range of EMF. If your meter's spiking red and it stays red, you've got a dangerous spike. And EMF spikes can make you hallucinate. They can make you sick. They can make your skin irritated. All sorts of things. It is very unhealthy to stay in an EMF field for a long period of time. I myself, where I'm sensitive, I'll get a headache, so I automatically know there's a high field. Amongst this meter is also called a Mel Meter. There's different types, but all in all, they all have temperature and electromagnetic field detection. You also have a cell sensor, which has a probe that comes off of the device. Now this probe, when shook, of course it will beep, but spirits can come near it, touch it, and it'll go off. Its counterpart is called a ghost meter. It's kind of see-through, does not have a probe, kind of acts the same way, and it will sound off a beeping alarm. There are multiple EMF meters out there, so you determine which one you want. Another really good one is called the REM Pod. It's a circular thing, as you can see. It's got lights on it, and it's also a proximity detection. The spirit can come up and the light will light up to the direction the spirit's at. If the spirit's really close and it's really touching it, it'll all go insane. Then you have your thermal imaging camera. Now these are made to detect heat signatures, hot, cold spots. Ghost Hunters uses them. Tons of shows use them. It's good especially for outdoors. If you're in the woods and you're doing an investigation, you hear footsteps, you want to know that it's spirit, person, or animal. And this can detect. Some of them can actually see through walls. Then you have your thermal gun. This is simply for your temperature gauging. It is in theory that when spirits manifest, they can draw the energy. In that, you will have the temperature in the room get colder. So we have actually seen where on request we have asked the spirits to drop the temperature, and it has done so. And then of course you can't go without your camera. Take still pictures. Always take 2 or 3 pictures in the same place, because if you have one picture that has something and you take multiple pictures, you can debunk, okay, this is just a twig, or that was a bug. Then you've got your camcorder. You always want to have video. And this, of course, I shouldn't have to say, but it's to detect visual apparitions or doors opening or closing. Is just to log your investigation. A must-have is a digital recorder. Spirits speak in a frequency our ears cannot hear. So the digital recorder will pick up their voice, and when we analyze it, we can go through, pick it up, write it down, make sure that it's a Class A, which means very clear. You don't need to do any kind of editing whatsoever. Class B, it's clear, but you got a little bit of whisper there. Class C is nasty, hard to hear. Sometimes you have to amplify it. Then you have an SLS. This is used from the Xbox Connect. Now, I'm not going to act like I know much about this because we do not own one. We have never used one. I have seen them in action, and it makes a little stick figure, and it's believed to pick up the spirit's figure or silhouette. And from what I've seen, it works pretty good. Then you have different things in laser. You have your laser pen, your laser grid, and your laser box. All in theory do the same thing. It puts out a red or green or red and green or purple laser dots, and when spirits pass through, you should be able to see the silhouette of that spirit. Now, there are some cases you will find spirits do not like the light. It kind of blinds them, I guess. Then we have the EDI, or known as the Data Logger. This thing is wild. It's a durable box, and it's used to detect all sorts of things. You can detect vibration, you can detect EMF, all that, and it logs it away on the little SD card. And you have to have your DVR system with your cameras and all that. This is to set up for stationary. If a client says 4 rooms are very active, doors open and close, you want to capture that facing that door. So make sure you get one. They're fairly cheap. You just got to make sure you have an internal hard drive, or you're going to have to buy an external. But my advice is don't go with Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi systems can be manipulated by the client's Wi-Fi if they have a Wi-Fi security system or whatever. Just don't do wireless. Then we have the shadow detector. This thing will sound a beep if anything breaks between the two barriers. Now, as we know, in the paranormal, we can't always see what we're talking to. A lot of times we'll see a shadow in the corner of our eye. If the client states that in the specific hallway there's always a shadow guy that's walking up and down, you can set this detector up and it will alert when something crosses. Then you have your motion light or motion detector. My team has both. The light will come on when something triggers it, and the detector will sound an alarm. However, annoying, it's very useful. Then there's a new piece of equipment that's called a PMB Music Box. It has a motion sensor that I'd say about 5 or 6 feet. When anything triggers it, it'll play this little music. When it's not standing there, it'll stop. I've seen a good friends of mine that use it on YouTube, and they've had some success with it. Then you have to have your IR light. 90% of the time, if you buy a good camera and it's got night shot or night vision, you still need an IR light to give that extra boost. This will help you see in the dark. Now, I've actually been asked, why is it paranormal investigators shut off the light and then use a night vision camera? One, it gives them the opportunity to be more relaxed. It gives us the opportunity that if we see a shadow figure, we know it's just not a shadow from us, because a shadow figure is a darker mass than the blackness of the no light. It's always good to have this, your UV light. It will detect blood, anything like that. It's good to determine if somebody was possibly murdered there. You can find the evidence of that right there by using the UV light. It's good on cases if you don't know and the client doesn't know. You will see it with the lights off. It is a purple light. Any kind of fluid like blood or sweat or whatever will come out real bright, almost like a white. Then these things here we call the listen up. It is simply just an amplifier. You put headphones in your ear. We joke around and say you can hear a cricket fart, but in all honesty, it amplifies the surroundings. We have been on investigations where audibly we could not hear anything whatsoever, but the person who had the listen up in could hear the spirits whispering. Upon analysis of the audio, we were able to back that up. So it's kind of cool. It's a real-time audible experience, which is not called an EVP. It's called an AVP. EVP is electronic voice phenomenon, and AVP is an audible voice phenomenon. It's something you hear with your audible ear. A lot of people say, I just heard an EVP. No, you didn't. You can't. You're not electromagnetic. You're not a machine. You don't record things like a phone does. It's not EMS or EVP. It is an AVP, or also better well known as a DVP, direct voice phenomenon. It's just a direct communication. This helps you amplify to where you can hear a little better. Then we have the Geophone. This thing is just simply a motion detector, but it lets out a loud, annoying squeal when vibrations near it. It's good for setting on stairways that maybe the client hears footsteps coming up or down the stairs or a hallway, and when it sounds off and you know that your team's accounted for, then okay, you could start looking toward paranormal. Just make sure they don't have cats. There's a lot of equipment out there that we can use to determine paranormal activity. However, these are the main ones. And the biggest reason I wanted to do this video is for people like that guy who's new in our group and in the field, to kind of know what to buy, what to look for, what they're used for. It's all about the same. You have to have certain gear to be able to communicate. Now, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars for all this. You can go and buy a cheap camera. Digital recorders, $30-40 at Walmart. You don't have to have those $300 digital recorders. In fact, the higher, more expensive ones have more filters to do away with EVP. So I hope this helps. And I know this is a short video, but if you have any questions, comment below. All of our links is down below, as well as the chapters that you'll be able to click through.